Okay, this is another word problem from the 2x2 systems quiz, and again, this is from Unit 4, so you should think that we're using systems of equations that's two variables and two unknowns. Now, this mixture problem is really similar to ones you did in Chapter 2, and you can use the exact same methods to solve it. And you really don't need to use systems of equations, but I hope this video will show you what you did before was essentially using systems of equations. So let me try to show you that. So my favorite method for solving these is to draw a picture. And here's my blank picture so far. It's one solution plus another equals an even bigger one. And we fill in the information. So let's first take a look. A 7% solution of a certain compound is to mix with a 25% solution of the same compound to produce. So, and again, compound, that's like alcohol or acid is what we saw before. It just said, like, you can name any chemical element, like, yeah, 7% of an alcohol solution or 7% of an acid solution is mixed with the 25% solution of the same compound, acid or alcohol or hydrochloric acid, whatever you want to call it. Ammonium sulfate. I don't know. You'll learn all these in chemistry someday. But there's so many different chemicals. They're just saying a generic compound. Okay, to produce 18 liters of a 15% solution of the compound, how many liters of the 25% solution should be used? Okay, so let's label these things. So the first thing, let's label. I can get rid of some of these things. Sorry, it's just the photo editor. Okay. So the first thing I'm going to do is label things. This has like very little acid, so let's just call this actually, let's do it in order. Draw your picture however you'd like, but let's call this the 7% solution. Oh, 7, I need the percent sign. Where is that? Am I blind? There it is. 7% solution. And the other was 25% solution. 25% solution. What else do we use? To produce 18 liters of a 15% solution. So let's say this is 18 liters of, let's kind of be consistent, see if I can fit that in here, 15% solution. Okay. So I'm labeling the percent of the solution here, the liters of the whole solution there, and how many liters of the 25% solution should be used. Okay, so again, these are the total volumes, and these are the volumes of the acid. And in what we did in Chapter 2 is we said, okay, if there's 5 liters of the 7% solution, well, that's 0.07 or 7% of 5, that's how much acid it is in here. And how much acid is in this one plus how much acid is in this one is how much acid is in this one. And also the total amount of liquid plus the total amount of liquid equals the total amount of liquid here. So again, these are unknown, right? It says a solution, 7% of a certain compound is mixed with 25% solution of the same compound. So we don't know the total volumes of these. Well, let's fill in the acid volume here. So again, to find the volume of just this acid, we said 15% of the whole thing is acid. So let's take a calculator and we write 0.15 times 18 liters is 2.7. So that 2.7 of the 18 liters is acid. 2.7 liters acid. Okay. So we know that this green plus this green equals this green. We know that this total solution plus this total solution equals this total solution because we're mixing these two to get this. Okay, so if these total volumes are unknown, well, that's a very good place to start. We can say x, why not, plus y. Y. We already had this plus symbol, right? That's this plus this equals this. So we've already got our first equation, and that's x plus y equals 18. And one thing you often did in the last one, and I want to point this out here, is that if this is x and this is 18, you might have done 18 minus x as this one. And that's essentially the same thing, right? Let's pull up our equation editor. That's solving a system of equations without ever writing the y, right? If we had x plus y equals 18, which we have right here. Alternatively, you can call the total volume, just subtract y from both sides and say, okay, if this one is y, this one's going to be 18 minus y. And then you already got rid of your x. And that's the difference between solving it with a system of equations and just with kind of skipping that step in your head, right? We just said if one, then the other's just 18 minus that one, right? If we know this one is x, then this is going to be 18 minus x. Or if this one is y, we know that this is going to be 18 minus y. But for the sake of having a system, we're going to write out x plus y equals 18. Okay, so we need one more equation, and that's always done in the acid portion because we know that this amount of acid plus this amount of acid equals this, and we know that 7% of x liters is acid, so 0.07, right? That's 7% times x, and this is going to be 0.25 times y. And so we have a second equation here, 0.07x plus 0.25y equals 2.7. So let's write that down. 0.07x plus 0.25y equals 2.7. Okay, so we have our two equations and two unknowns. And what is it asking us to solve for? How many liters of the 25% solution should be used? The y is the 25% solution. So ultimately, we only care about getting y. So let's write this one as x equals y 18 minus y. And then we'll plug in that. So plug in this right here because that's the value of it. 0.07 times 18 minus y plus 0.25y equals 2.7. Okay, now again, use a calculator here because even I'm nervous about these decimals. So 0.07 times 18 is 1.26. So 1.26 minus 0.07y plus 0.25y equals 2.7. Okay, let's combine like terms. We have this minus 0.07y plus 0.25y. So let's just copy this. Combining these, we get again, don't mess this up. I'm doing it all in my head, but just for ease, let's 0.25 minus 0.07. 0.07 equals 0.18. If you can do that in your head, great. So you have 0.18y plus 1.26 equals 2.7. Let's subtract that 1.26 off from both sides. So 2.7 minus 1.26, 1.44. So we get 0.18y equals 1.44. And now divide off that 0.18 and 8. You get y equals 8. Okay, so that tells us that we would have 8 liters here, right? We can fill that in, and that's actually what we're following. So 8 liters. That's really all the only place we need to go. But immediately you can see that x would be 10 because the whole thing's 8. So what plus 8 equals 18. So x is 10 liters. Okay, and again, you could see that if this is 10 liters, this would be 0.7 liters of acid, and that would be 2 liters of acid. To get 2.7, right? 0.7 plus 2 equals 2.7. And that's a good thing. Fill out everything just to make sure you understand it. And please email me or call me if you have any more questions on this subject. I'd be happy to talk to you about it.